Hello and welcome to another vlog. We
are being stared at by the comic police.
It's fine, I don't care. We are going on a honeymoon anniversary trip, and we started this trip with donuts.
As one does.
We have eaten donuts.
Well,
Well,
I'm going to have my apple fritter now.
yeah, I ate mine already. I did run 2.5 miles this morning, so we've eaten donuts, we've had coffee, we have made it to Virginia. There's a very nice rest stop here in Virginia, Virginia border. There's a playground and picnic table, and the bathrooms were nice and large, so that was fun. And now we are going to do some more driving. We've got
Under
2
the
hours.
So we've been going for an hour and a half. That's not bad.
Yeah, we're about halfway. It's fine. This is where we're going to be staying. We are checked in to our B&B. This is what the room looks like. Got a 4-poster bed and some comfy chairs and some nice windows. And I think this is at least an imitation of leaded glass. It's very old looking, and there's a porch out there, but the air conditioner is on the porch. And then there's our bathroom. This is an adjoining bathroom, but nobody's on the other side. There's cute tile floors, and the shutters on the window, and the cave, and the teeny tiny little sink. We're gonna get settled and then we're gonna go adventuring, I think. We have just walked down the street through Colonial Williamsburg to the Capitol building. We are gonna go back in that direction in search of food. It's beautiful here. Everything's cool. It's all old, or it looks old, because a lot of the buildings are reconstructed. But not a lot of people are out because it's dinner time and everything is closing because the sun is going down. But we're gonna walk back and get some nomins, and then we will visit again tomorrow. Good morning. It is Friday morning and we are packing up to head over to Colonial Williamsburg to actually get our passes for today and hopefully get in some learning before the rain hits. You can maybe see the dark clouds looming outside. Bum bum bum. But we just had a very amusing breakfast downstairs with our host Alex and learned some stuff about the house. It's apparently been a woman-owned B&B since the 30s, and it was built by a man and his 9 children. And they only lived here for a couple of years, and then they moved down the street and sold it to, quote, 2 spinsters, aka women, who then lived on the first floor. I am going to investigate the history of this house a little more. I would like to know more. Also, breakfast was super yummy. There were scrambled eggs and sausage and fruit and homemade muffins, which were amazing. It was super yummy, and I'm curious to see what's for breakfast tomorrow, because hopefully the breakfasts are all that good. Alex, the host, makes all of them, and he is most amusing. I also like that he used to be a history teacher. Anyway, we're gonna go get our passes and see what we can see before we get soaked. We're back at the B&B. because Zach went to take a picture of some sheep and discovered that there was no memory card in his camera. So we came back to get a memory card, and hopefully then we'll be on our way. It is lightening up. It was raining quite heavily. It's lightening up now. Hopefully we'll get to do some outside stuff and then spend some time in the museum. The museum looks like it's going to have some cool stuff in it. Yeah. I'll put the picture of the sheep here. I actually got one. Sheep! Alright. We'll see you when we have stuff to see. Here we are. We're going to the museum. Here's some action cam footage for you. We are walking towards the historic section. Thoughts on the museum?
I mean, neat, informative, quite a varied selection of things.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a lot of things. And
didn't care too much about the portrait side of things, more so the actual handcrafted artifacts are more our jam.
Which is why you have a lot of footage of quilts and a lot of footage of clothes and textiles.
It'll be fun to edit.
I got very excited. We'll wait, we'll let them turn while
there's another car coming through.
Cool. Well, we're gonna go get lunch at the cheese shop. Cheese. We have just come out of the cheese shop. And we are sitting in the street. And we are about to consume a glorious cheese plate and some sandwiches.
awesome. Karen is our boss. She's the master of the shop. She made sure I had a place to live because they came from another state. She bought me pizza when we were at lunch one day, but she bought everybody pizza. She was like, I'm in a mood for this, let's go ahead and have this. So she's housed me, fed me, worked with the milliners, made sure I had clothes, and did pretty much everything that a master of the shop would have done 200-300 years ago. Not because she had to, but because she's amazing.
I'm just starting the burring edge or the top rims of the cups that I'm working on right now. And so as I do that work, I'm going to be folding things back. You can see it doesn't take a whole lot of energy or pressure or anything like that to move the material. It's quite thin and flexible and malleable. But I do want to be careful that I don't damage the tin coating while I'm doing the work, because I don't want to scratch that away, expose the iron underneath to be rusting prematurely.
He is working on the polishing work on a side chisel. You might get that out. Might as well get it out.
We came to see the jail. There are sheep. This is the jail. You get real sick of that view, I'm sure. This one has what appears to be a coffin in it. That's cool.
I'll start with that since you knew it that way. So that is an animal product. It is wax. It used to be oil and they had a sperm whale. So when you could harvest whales, they would boil that oil on board ship and turn it into a wax. Making ointment out of it, they rub on your chest, but they're also making a medicine that you can That's what they have Vicks. Here's your Vicks vapor rub. Can't break it white ointment. So they have basically Vicks vapor rub back then.
Don't confuse coffee houses and taverns. Taverns cater to travelers. The coffee house is the only coffee house in the city. There's only ever one at any given time. And this is where you're going to find more local folks coming to. The reason this coffee house sits right here is mainly because of that building right next door. What is that? Capitol building. When they're done working for the day, they'll come to the next closest place they can come to, sit here, sample the hot liquors, and have good conversations. It's all about conversation here. And it's very, very different than a modern day coffee house, whereas this time period, everyone's talking. We want to have good discussions. Sometimes they just come in and release a topic into the room and let it happen. Just listen to it.
By that is it's a society in which slavery was the primary labor system. It was the defining economic system. So by the end of the 18th century, Virginia was a slave society. Slavery was legal in all 13 of the colonies that declared independence from Great Britain. So slavery was legal in places like Pennsylvania and Massachusetts. Maybe those states now like to pretend like slavery wasn't up there, but it was legal up there.
we've been really bad about updating you with our faces. But you
I
should
got a lot
have,
of pictures.
you should have seen lots of photos and video of what we saw today. I kind of rage quit most things at lunchtime because I was hungry.
And the splurging yesterday has been kicking me a bit.
Yeah, so I was hungry, he was not. I rage quit life. We went back to the B&B, and then we came back, and we finished the Paradox of Liberty walking tour. It was so good.
Yeah.
The guy who was leading the tour was super informative, and he was super passionate about what he was talking about, and I learned a lot of things, and I have a lot of feelings. Now we are going to
Meander some shops before the ghost tour.
and I'm very excited. I'm also wearing what is effectively a wool blanket because it's gonna get cold because the sun's going down here. Yeah. And behind us, there's an archaeological dig.
The Custis house, I believe it was.
So it's the house and all the outbuildings. They are doing excavation work to try to uncover.
Because that's one thing we're learning here is that it's an active archaeological site in many places. There's it's the First Baptist.
The First Baptist Church, which is still a functioning Baptist church.
It's an active congregation, but now they've found where the original site was under a parking lot. History literally paved over.
Yeah.
Was part of the walking tour. It's like,
Feelings. So many feelings.
Shall we go into the shops?
And get some candy and some fudge.
Works for me.
Cool. That sheep is on the run. Good morning. It is Sunday morning and we are packing.
All of our crap.
Yeah. Because we need to check out this morning. What you didn't see last night, and hopefully there are some pictures to put in, but it was dark, was the ghost tour. We had a lot of fun. It was fun and entertaining. It was also 2 hours. It was 2 hours. It was 1.5 miles. It was a little kitschy, but
It was fun.
yeah, one of the places that was on the tour was Peyton Randolph House, which we went to earlier. That's where we had the where we met for the Liberty Paradox, Freedom Paradox, Freedom's Paradox tour. That was really, really good. It's supposedly the most haunted house in America. Honestly, that house gave me bad juju from the beginning. And I just assumed that it was because of the generational trauma that took place there with the enslaved people. So if it is in fact haunted, the house is closed, so you can't go inside. If it is in fact haunted,
Wouldn't surprise us.
is it any wonder? But they were talking on the tour about how a lot of the workers won't go in the properties by themselves, and yeah,
Weird stuff happens.
weird stuff happens. The older your home is, or the older a building is, the more likely it is to have experienced something that would leave bad juju. And Peyton Randolph House feels...
2 people owning 27 slaves in just that building. That
It's massive. It's huge. You. Hopefully, we have a picture of it here for you.
in a town where you get half-acre lots. There's a
4
4-acre townhouse. It is a house in the town.
Because they also have three
Three
plantations.
Plantations for the other, totaling 109 enslaved people they own. 27 in just the in-town house alone.
Yeah.
We're gonna go eat food. Smells like they have bacon.
Yeah, which hopefully they have bacon this morning, because yesterday it smelled like bacon and pancakes and it was quiche. It was delicious, homemade quiche, but it was quiche. And
When you have your mind set for pancakes and bacon and you're served quiche, it's just not quite the same.
yeah, today the plan is Milliner, Mantua maker, palace, governor's palace, specifically the kitchens. If I see the rest of the palace, that's cool, but I want to see the kitchens. Hopefully eating at the Blue Talon for lunch and getting their award-winning mac and cheese, but I'm not going to hold my breath. They won't take reservations for parties of less than 6 before 4 p.m. Visiting the shops.
Spice and tea exchange is dangerous.
Oh my gosh, we're going to spend so much money in there. I'm going to see if I can get some footage. This is hard to read.
As a Mantua maker, I sculpted on the person, and you've already got your stays on. So that's the shape we're going for, and then we're literally going to camouflage or trick the eye away from a shoulder that's higher than the other, or a hip that's lower, or a waistline that's bigger because you're wearing stays. So the easiest thing to do is to make the skirts a little bigger, to change proportions, to make the waistline look smaller. So it looks like you're squeezed in, but you can still sing opera at full voice.
So, we just had lunch at the Blue Talon. 8+ mac and cheese. Wait staff situation is complicated. Our waiter was great. But last night we got peanut butter cups. Dark chocolate peanut butter cups at Killen's. That's ridiculous.
That's just straight peanut butter.
Yeah. Yum. And then we're gonna go to the meadery. I'll see if I can get some footage in there. I know I didn't get footage in the tea shop, but there's a picture. That place is dangerous. This spices and teas, yeah, it's dangerous. But I'll try to get some footage in the meadery, and then we're going home. So this is an active hive.
We may be queenless. We've had a couple of beekeeper customers come in and suspect that that might be the case.
Okay.
So we're kind of waiting to see what to do next. If we need to introduce a queen or if they'll, appoint one essentially.
Yeah. Our friends are new beekeepers, and
Very cool.
they've gone through a couple of queens in one of their hives.
Yeah.
Just trying to get them settled.
And we're back. We made it home. Thoughts on Colonial Williamsburg?
For as close as it is, well worth the trip.
Yeah, I would agree.
Just living history in general. The fact that they're the largest apprentice program in the nation, if not the world, correct? I think it's
Definitely the nation.
I think world.
Possibly.
Anyway, really cool seeing the original trades and how knowledgeable everybody who's there demonstrating them has to be.
And the apprenticeship program, the fact that everyone who's there working a trade can walk you through, this is what I do, or this is what I am doing for my apprenticeship, and this is how I became a journeyman, and this is how you become a master. And the incorporation that every single trade had, like every building we went to, they talked about the ways in which the people of Williamsburg, whether or not they owned enslaved people, benefited from the institutionalization of slavery.
I don't think we had footage of the carpentry yard, but no, that guy, yeah, it just your own personal labor force that gives you that strong economic advantage, whether it's a skilled trade or not.
And their newfound focus in telling the stories of the people who are left out of history books and their stories are not told.
Yeah.
We were there at
Freedom.
the end of October, and in November they were focusing on celebrating the stories of the native people who lived in Williamsburg and their experience, and everyone had a project where they had to do research on that, and they were getting ready to do that presentation.
And Freedom's Paradox. Excellent.
So good.
Guy that led the tour absolutely knew everything. They knew his stuff front, back, side by side. And yeah. It's just...
It was incredible. I highly recommend it. We're excited to take Emma back when she's a little bit older and understands a little bit better what's going on, and maybe can make it through the day without a nap.
I mean, there's that too, because you're on your feet a lot, out of necessity.
Yeah, you're on your feet a lot, and because of daylight being necessary for the trades to operate, they're only open for a certain amount of time, and
at least because of the plague right now, only certain places are certain days because protocols being what they needs must.
And that was the other thing, was they did a really good job of making sure everybody felt safe. So, I enjoyed it. We'll definitely be making a return trip. There's still more I want to see and learn. It's now one of my life goals to own a piece of cloth or a garment that has been woven by the weavers at Colonial Williamsburg, because they use the wool from the sheep. They grow, they shear the sheep and they use the wool at the spinner and dyer, and then they weave it, and then the tailor or the Mantua maker turn it into a garment, and that's just really cool to me.
All within about a square mile.
But yeah, so that is it for us for this week. I hope you enjoyed coming on this little trip with us. I'm sorry it was kind of chaotic. We both sort of got lost in what we were doing and forgot to film.
I have a lot of pictures, but this is already late going up, and those take a lot of time to process and fit in.
But our question for you this week is, where is your favorite museum living history destination? So obviously living history doesn't exist everywhere. I think Colonial Williamsburg is really the only place within driving distance for us. I think they have something
Actual
at
history.
Jamestown, but that's like the same location. But where is your favorite museum or living history location? Leave that down below. Give us a list of future destinations. Because we like to learn, because we're
Travel
nerds.
broadens the mind, and yes, there's always something new to learn.
Yep. And if you enjoyed coming along with us, give this video a like, subscribe if you want to see hopefully more travel outing shenanigans.
More
and
making of stuff at the least.
making things for said adventures. And we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.